Meeting 7 of the Senate Standing Committee on Education will come to order. Welcome, everybody. As is normal, if you are speaking on a bill, you need to sign up at the very back. It'll be available for about 2 minutes. Then we'll collect that for the meeting. I'll warn everyone, we're on a very, very tight schedule today. So as we discuss these bills, we will move them along quickly. Please silence your cell phones. Do any members have special introductions? I do know we have Senator Thomas has a couple of introductions. Senator Thomas, do you have a couple of introductions?
Yes. Thank you, Chairman West. I actually have two special guests here today. First of all, I'm very pleased to have my sheriff, the Sheriff of Fayette County, Kathy Witt. Could you please stand? She's joining us today, and she brought some of her staff with her so they could stand as well. I am pleased to have Sheriff Witt here at our Education Committee this morning. Sheriff Witt, thank you for coming, you and your staff. And then I have another close friend who I've known. You've heard me say several times that I'm a former PTA president. And I have one of my PTA parents who worked together with me at Bryan Station for a number of years, Denise Finley. Denise, if you could stand. Well, welcome as well. So I want to thank them, Mr. President, and make them feel welcome at our Education Committee meeting this morning.
Welcome. Senator Funke-Romire.
Yes, and I wanted to acknowledge that I've had a fantastic experience with Dea Smith, my intern from UK, and she brought her mom and dad here today to see us on this last busy day of the session. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a educator of 20 plus years and a CPA of 20 plus years. So thank you for being here and for your daughter.
Welcome to Education Committee. We're going to jump right in. We do need to call the roll first. Mariah, please call the roll.
Senator Carroll. Senator Funke-Romire. Senator Givens. Senator Higdon. Senator Meredith. Senator Neal. Senator Stivers. Senator Thomas. Senator Tishner. Senator Wilson.
Here.
Senator Wise. Senator Williams.
Here.
Chair West.
Here.
We are duly constituted to conduct business. We're going to jump in and handle a lot of these resolutions first. Members, you'll want to take note of this because this is not the normal procedure. We have 10 Senate resolutions listed today. You can see the resolutions listed on your agenda. Once we've dispensed with the bills on the agenda, I'm going to ask for a motion in a second to report the resolutions favorably. If you are a no vote on the resolutions, at some point during the meeting, you need to get with Yvette or Mariah to cast a no vote. Otherwise, if you do not cast a no vote, all these resolutions will be reported favorably. First up on the agenda, we have House Bill 319, an act related to teacher shortages. In our committee, we don't make you swear an oath, so you can just announce your name and proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, State Representative James Tipton, House District 53. And I'm here today to talk to you about House Bill 319, which I believe is a very critical piece of legislation as we move forward in regard to our education systems here in Kentucky. We all recognize that we have a lot of workforce shortages across all areas of our economy, and this is also very true in our teacher educators. We have heard about this. We have seen this coming for years, but I think House Bill 319, we start to take some positive actions on this now. Mr. Chairman, I believe there is a Senate committee sub if you want to take care of that.
Motion on sub. Second.
House Bill 319 does have a sub. We have a motion and a second on the sub. All those in favor of the sub say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, ayes have it. 319 with sub is in front of us. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very briefly, the sub starts on page 46. And actually, I want to acknowledge Representative Timoney, who is here. This is House Bill 158. And what the sub does in 3 places, it changed the word statement with the word the word affidavit with the word statement. When a teacher takes a sick day, under current law, they have to file what's referred to as an affidavit, which requires that they have a notary present. All a notary does is acknowledge the identity of the person signing the document. So this was one of those rules that just makes it burdensome on our school system by them just filing a statement that would take that burden off.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the bill. Anything further?
You all have the bill in front of you. It's been out there for a while. I'd be happy to entertain any questions, but I know we are in a time crunch, so please proceed, Mr. Chairman.
I see no questions from members of the committee. I just want to acknowledge your hard work on this. We've worked during the interim, and you really took the bull by the horns and did a lot of hard work on this. I want to acknowledge you and what you've done on this critically important issue. Seeing no questions, we will go to a vote. All those in favor vote aye, opposed nay.
Senator Carroll. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Givens. Senator Higdon. Senator Meredith. Senator Neal. Senator Stivers. Senator Thomas. Senator Tishner. Senator Williams. Senator Wilson.
Aye.
Senator Wise. Chair West.
Aye. House Bill 319 passes with 10 ayes and 0 nays. The committee will stand at ease. Before we get to the motion on consent, there is a title amendment. I'll make a motion on the title amendment. Do I have a second? I have a second. The question is on the title amendment. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Title amendment is adopted. Now we have do we have a motion on consent for consent? Senator Wilson. Second, Senator Williams. All those in favor of 319 being on consent, vote aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr.
House
Chairman.
Bill
members of the committee.
319 with committee sub and title amendment is on consent. Next up, we have House Bill 36, an act relating to Kentucky higher education. The floor is yours. Announce your names for the record and proceed.
Timmy Truitt, State Representative, District 89.
Diana Barber, Interim Executive Director for Kentucky Higher Education Student Loan Corporation.
Aaron Clare, Vice President of Government Relations and Communications for Kentucky Higher Education.
Please proceed.
All right, House Bill 36. Very simple bill. It's a cleanup bill. Changes a word from insured to underwritten. We no longer do insured loans. I think that stopped in 2010. Is that correct?
Yes.
2010. So it's simply a cleanup bill, and we would appreciate if we could get it to just kind of clean the records.
Motion for the bill.
We have a motion on the bill and we have a second. Any questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Senator Carroll. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Givens. Senator Higdon. Senator Meredith. Senator Neal. Senator Stivers. Senator Thomas. Senator Tishner. Senator Williams. Senator Wilson.
Aye.
Senator Wise. Chair West.
Aye. Senate Bill 36 passes. Senate Bill 36 passes with 11 ayes, 0 no's. We have a motion for consent. We have a second. All those in favor of putting 36 on consent say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Senate 36 is passed and is on consent.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I want to go ahead and apologize. This was my mistake. We had Diana Barber. Okay, I'm sorry. I got you. That's what I thought. I'm not apologizing. I did give you the opportunity to speak. Next, we have on the agenda House Bill 244, an act relating to the Kentucky Guard and Youth Challenge Program. Yeah. Once you're ready, please state your name for the record and proceed.
Chris Fugit, State Representative, 84th District.
Charles Jones, Executive Director, Department of Military Affairs.
Good morning. Corey Ann Jackson, Legislative Liaison, Department of Military Affairs.
Buddy Berry, Superintendent of Eminent Schools.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of this committee. In 2017, I was introduced to the Harlan County Appalachian Challenge Academy. That is a school for young men and ladies who sometimes have gotten off the right path in life to serve 15 and a half to 18-year-old young people. House Bill 244 would, and Mr. Chairman, if you have a Senate committee sub.
I do. There is a sub. Do we have a motion on the sub? Senator Wilson has the motion. Senator Funky Fromeyer second. All those in favor of adopting the sub say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Sub is adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill, Senate committee sub, would continue to allow the Kentucky Guard Youth Challenge Academy. It would continue to help the program, to continue to help young men, young women from all over Kentucky in the school districts to come there to be educated in an alternative education program, and would help them to get their life back in order, and to be guided in the right way and receive the education that they need and that they deserve. I would love for you to comment on the Senate committee sub, or General Jones, whoever would like to.
I would say let's let the general, if he wants
Yes,
to
sir.
comment first, and we
Yes,
can go
sir.
from there.
Sir, what the sub does is allow us to continue to operate and enhance kids from across the Commonwealth, from other public schools, to come and attend our school, the academy there at Bluegrass or Appalachian and Harlan. What this does, all the negative indicators that these kids would bring as far as test scores and all, goes back to their parents' school, and it puts us in compliance with Kentucky Department of Education. This bill and the sub was worked in conjunction with KDE and educators with Dr. Berry. Dr. Berry may have some comments to add, sir.
This is one of the single most powerful programs that I've been a part of. I was a slow convert at the beginning, but would fight side by side with General Jones, and have done so for years now because of the impact of the change in student lives. I think it should be a viable alternative program for the entire state of Kentucky.
We'll move into questions now from members. Senator Funky Fromeyer.
And I apologize if it's more clearly stated. How are students selected for the program?
Sir, ma'am, I've got sessions officers that work at both academies. So basically, the state for the academies is divided on the I-75 corridor. East goes to Appalachian, west goes to Bluegrass. My sessions people work with these court designated workers, educators, school superintendents, and they recommend to parents, hey, maybe this is an alternative program that would help your child. And then the child ultimately, and the parents, they have to volunteer to attend the program. So,
Please proceed.
Just a follow-up question. Then the parents offer their choice, and with the parents' choice, does their SEEK dollars then follow that student to this specialty program?
no, ma'am, we receive no SEEK funds. No SEEK funds. This is a cooperative agreement between the Commonwealth of Kentucky and Department of Defense. Department of Defense for the total budget's about 10.8 for both academies for a year. 75% of that is paid for from the federal government out of DOD. The other 25%, we received 670 out of general funds, 670,000 out of general funds. The remainder of the 1.8, it comes out of Major General Harold Lamberton's restricted funds. No SEEK funds allocated.
Senator Higdon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of questions, if you don't mind. And
Please proceed.
it is a great program. I agree. Are you? How many students do you have at each one, and are you at capacity?
No, sir, and that's what this was, the original bill was targeted for. We've got a capacity of 600 a year, 300 at each academy, based on 2-semester school year. And we're running right now at about 60% capacity. So we've got vacant beds.
Okay.
And not to interrupt, but on the from a practitioner's point of view, the only hesitation I have with the sub is that we were hoping for recruitment of students. I think schools would be more inclined to send a student if they knew that that was a chance for both the student and the school district to get a fresh start. So having the scores go back to the district, I think if we were to not do the sub and eliminate that portion, I believe it would incentivize sending these kids to get a fresh start and then come back regrouped, ready to go when they do, if they don't earn a diploma in the program when they come back.
I guess another follow-up on the SEEK dollars. If the school's getting the grades, it would. I know from Gatton Academy and the Craft Academy, they want the SEEK dollars also, even though the student's not there, and you don't face that.
So the students' SEEK money, it ceases to exist when they're at the Bluegrass Challenge. So there is no, they're getting the scores, but they're not getting the SEEK funding while they're attending. So it is, that's why I think it's a little bit of a double-edged sword in terms of that. You just nailed the relationship.
Well, thank you.
And I've got another question, but before I get to that question, I'd just like to make a comment that might add value here. So I want to thank the General and Mrs. Jackson, Representative Fugate, for working with the Senate to craft the sub, and to comment to Senator Higdon that this is a first step, and I think we intend to do further work in the interim for further steps. But this got us a little further down the road with the sub. Senator Givens.
Chair West, thank you, and Representative, thanks for your leadership on this issue. Thanks to the two of you for helping change these lives for these young people, and to all your staff. And please take that message back to the folks that you work with of how excited we are to see these young people's lives have a chance. Appreciate so much that leadership. Chairman, I want to share with you my compliments to you for helping thread the needle on this, because this got stuck over some valid questions and concerns that members have. You and our staff here and Joe Burks and others made it possible for this bill to be here in this committee today and get a hearing, and I appreciate that very much, and I'd like to make a motion that it be reported favorably.
That's perfect timing because we have no further questions. There's a motion, Senator Givens. There's a second, Senator Wilson. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote. Mariah, call the roll.
Senator Carroll, Senator Funky Fromeyer, Senator Givens, Senator Higdon, Senator Meredith, Senator Neal, Senator Stivers, Senator Thomas, Senator Tishner, Senator Williams, Senator Wilson, Senator Wise, Chair West.
Aye. House Bill 244, as amended with committee sub, passes with a vote of 10 ayes and 0 noes. Do we have a motion for consent? We have a motion from Senator Funky Fromeyer. We have a second. Senator Wilson got there first. All those in favor of consent say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. House Bill 244 is passed with favorable expression with committee sub on consent.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your help and your staff's help in seeing this go forward. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you all.
Yep. Next up, we have House Bill 540, an act relating to school safety. Representative, Senator, and guests, if you would state your name for the record, and whenever you're ready, please proceed.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Committee. Killian Timoney, State Representative, 45th District.
Amanda Bays Bledsoe, Senator, District 12.
Good morning. I'm Scott Wells, Head of School at Lexington Christian Academy.
Kathy Witt, Fayette County Sheriff.
Thank you, Committee. House Bill 540 allows for parochial and private schools to enter into a memorandum of agreement with local law enforcement and state police to provide school security measures. This bill is desperately needed for our private schools and our parochial schools for them to seek reimbursement for school security services provided by the Sheriff's Department and local law enforcement. You want to explain how it impacted your school?
You bet. We've been honored to have a pilot program this year with the Office of Fayette County Sheriff. It has been amazingly successful having an SRO on both of our campuses. It certainly justifies the need for this program and these partnerships to continue in the future. So we're in complete support of that.
And the Office of the Fayette County Sheriff met with the Auditor of Public Accounts, and they recommend that this current legislation, the current statute, be amended as such. And I believe we have a representative from the Auditor of Public Accounts here today to show their support.
He's been here before.
I've heard.
So I think he knows. Yeah. Any other comments?
Just very briefly, special thanks to Dr. Scott Wells and the Fayette County Sheriff, Kathy Witt. The State Auditor's Office, Mike Harmon, has been tremendously helpful as his staff. KSBA, Eric Kennedy was outstanding. The Kentucky Association of Chiefs of Police and the Kentucky Sheriff's Association are all in support of this.
This sounds like a feel-good bill. Senator Funky Fromeyer, first question.
Will there, I have been blessed to have some of my children in public and some of my children in private. And I think what I've seen in our public schools, the SRO has been a great benefit. So grateful that you brought this forward so that this can be a considered position in the Catholic schools. Will there be curriculum that might even be led by the SROs, or are they just a strong presence?
The purpose of this bill is just to clear up the statute that pertains to reimbursement, seeking reimbursement. I would always encourage any school leader to incorporate as much of your law enforcement into your curriculum as possible, but that's my opinion. But that's not the intent of the bill.
Any other questions on this topic? Seeing none, we have a motion from Senator Givens. We have a second from Senator Tishner. We will now vote. Mariah, please call the roll.
Senator Carroll. Senator Funky Fromeyer. Senator Givens. Senator Higdon. Senator Meredith. Senator Neal. Senator Stivers. Senator Thomas.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to proudly explain my aye vote.
Please proceed.
First of all, Representative Timoney, I want to thank you very much for bringing this. This is a much-needed measure. You and I, as well as Senator Mays Bledsoe, knows what a great job Sheriff Witt does, and this is much needed. Helps her because she's been actually paying for this cost for a number of years out of her own pocket, and I think it's only fair now that she be reimbursed some. Dr. Wells, it's good to see you again. I've been on your campus several times, and your campus is growing and expanding. It's a beautiful representation of the diverse school offerings that we offer in Fayette County. I say all the time that if you want to look at school choice, just look at what we do in Fayette County. We have school choice without the need of charter schools. So I applaud the work that you've done, and just keep doing it. With that said, Mr. Chair, I proudly vote aye.
Senator Tishner. Aye. Senator Williams.
I'd like to explain my aye vote.
Please proceed.
I just did want to notice that Kenton County Sheriff Korsenbaugh is here along with his Chief Deputy, Colonel Morgan, in support of this, and I support them, and I know they strongly support this and support you, so I'm voting aye with the community. Thank you for your work.
Senator Wilson.
Aye.
Senator Wise.
Aye.
Chair West.
Aye. House Bill 540 passes with 11 aye votes and 0 no votes and is reported with favorable expression. Do I have a motion for consent?
Consent.
Senator Williams has the motion. Senator Funky Fromeyer has the second. All those in favor of consent say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. 540 is passed with favorable expression and will be on consent.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, committee. One last person I left out for thanking, Representative All from Lexington also was very pivotal with this process, and he definitely needs some attention for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we had to, as chair, we had to call a little bit of an audible here. There were some comments directed to the chair on a few of the resolutions, and so we still have time for the resolutions. So in order to keep that process moving, we are going to pass over all of the resolutions that were on the docket today. At this time, do we have anybody who needs to record some votes? Senator Wise, do you need to record any votes?
Yes, I do, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Need to record an aye vote on House Bill 36, House Bill 244, and House Bill 319.
Anyone else seeking need? Senator Carroll.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to record an aye vote on House Bill 36, House Bill 244, House Bill 319, and House Bill 540.
Duly noted. Any other business to come before the committee?